want to be here. Already coming into this assignment with that feeling, I can't judge because I have that feeling all the time, and I don't think I'd say anything to her. But it would be a little frustrating because I know if I came to this job, I might not be the happy, chipperest person in the world, but I'm going to come into this job with the feeling that I want to be here and that I'm here to do my best job. Reading this prompt, it doesn't feel like she doesn't want to be here. She just really wants to go home. I honestly wouldn't say anything to her. I might ask her, be like, okay, would you like me to go first so you can go run and grab a cup of coffee really quickly so you can like maybe wake up really quick? Or, knowing me, I might not say anything and be like, oh, I'm really sorry. Have you had coffee today? Any caffeine? Is there anything you can do to wake yourself up before this? And I think it would really depend on how she acted the rest of the time when we were interpreting together. Because I think just being tired and not wanting to be at work 100% of the time is not the worst thing in the world. But coming in and immediately complaining about it the second you get there, it would just bother me. But I think that's just a personal thing. I don't think it would affect. I don't think I would let it affect my working relationship with her. My computer's trying to go to sleep on me. Yeah. Probably ask her if she needs anything to help her wake up. And then see how the rest of the night progressed. So you could share your preferences and needs every time you attempt to bring up the issue of teaming. She simply said, I'm flexible, don't worry about me. Managed to discuss an agreement with switching every 20 minutes and that she would start. Okay. Sorry, waiting for the slide to switch. You're now 45 minutes into the course and have switched twice. You have the sinking feeling that you're on your own even though you have a team interpreter. The first 20 minutes while your colleague was interpreting, you're very attentive and took notes on the vocabulary and choices made so that you could strive to be consistent in your work. While the interpreter did not look for you for a feed, you were on and ready the whole time. When you switched, she walked into the room and didn't come back for nearly 15 minutes. You struggled a bit through the work but managed to be okay. She switched with you 5 minutes after coming into the room. You know the instructor will be taking a break in 15 minutes. As he announced, he will take a break every hour. What are you thinking? What actions might you take after the break, after class? Okay, so I would be a little upset, especially if I'm working very hard to make sure that she has a good support behind her. And she may not need me to feed anything to her. But if the occasion ever arose, I would be there and ready for her. I understand we're all human. You know, sometimes you need a break. But having a teacher that has already said, like, okay, there's going to be a break every hour. I'm going to let you out, let you breathe, go to the bathroom, grab some coffee, stuff like that. And she just kind of left the room. From the prompt I just read, it doesn't really sound like she asked if she could take a break. She just kind of took off. I feel like at the break that would be something that I would have been feeling kind of upset for the past 20-something minutes. And when I have a problem, I like to resolve it before it becomes too big. At this point, it's only like halfway through the class. And so I would go up and I would talk to her. And I'd be like, hey, you know, I feel kind of upset. I kind of struggled through this stuff. I really needed you to be there to support me and feed me some signs. And maybe give me some information that I was missing because I was struggling. And you weren't there for me. So I really need, when I'm on and I'm interpreting, I need you to sit there, be attentive and listen for me and feed me the stuff because, you know, I'm a new interpreter and I'm doing my best and I want to give the best I can, but I need a little help for right now, if that's okay. And if after the class if it was just, like, oh, I'm really sorry, I was just really tired, I was running and grabbing a cup of coffee, I came back, sat down, and then everything was fine the second half, I don't think I would do anything. I would just chalk it up to a bad day, a bad experience. I might not choose to take an assignment with her again or not. I think it would just depend on how well the second half of the class went, and then if she apologized to me afterwards for her actions. But if after the class this persisted through the whole time, I do think I would call the agency and be like, I'm really sorry. I had some problems with her when I tried to talk to her. Things didn't work out. I wouldn't want to file a formal complaint, but just to kind of let them know, like, this is my experience with this interpreter. Maybe you could sit down and talk to her, because when I tried to, I wasn't listened to. I honestly think it would just depend on how the second half of the class went, is how I would react. And honestly, if the deaf student said anything. Alrighty, next slide. Now it's the second week of the classes and the second session of the sociology class. Since you didn't have time prior to the first class to discuss some of your needs with the team and preferences with Lisa, you made it a point to share some of those things with her after the class last week. She seemed to be open and said that she was not used to be teaming the way you're proposing, but was worth to give it a shot. Sounds good so far. Again this week, you both determine that Lisa will begin. After you switch, she stays in the room and appears to be attentive. She's able to provide you support when you ask for your feeds. All in all, the teaming is going much better than it did last week. During the first break, after 1 hour, Lisa says she needs to leave 45 minutes early tonight because something has come up. She suggests she can interpret for longer than 20 minutes right before she has to leave, and that way you would only have to do the 40 minutes remaining to interpret and be rested since you had a longer break. Or are you kind of feeling uneasy about this? What are you thinking? How would you respond to Lisa? What is influencing your decision to reply this way? Okay, so I think it's better that she is responding now and that she listened to what I said. I am not a happy camper that at the last second, that at the break she's asking me to just interpret the last 45 minutes. I understand I'm a green interpreter. I haven't really interpreted much past some deafblind meetings, which I think the longest I've interpreted straight is like 30 minutes when we had a problem with switching interpreters. But I don't think, honestly, I could go 40 minutes. And at this point, it doesn't sound like she's really giving me a choice. She's telling me she needs to leave because something came up. And so to me, this isn't sounding like I have time to really think about this question. So I would honestly be very upset at this point that this is last minute. I understand something came up, but I'm a new interpreter, and I don't feel like interpreting 40 minutes straight is fair to me, especially in a class like this. I think I would sit down and talk to her at this point and be like, I'm really sorry, but I don't know if I can interpret the full 45 minutes. I understand this just came up, and I want to say I can try it, but I don't feel that I can put out the work so the client can get their full, I guess, money's worth. I can't really think of the real term for that. But get all the information in the correct way with all of the correct words. If I need feeding again, I now have no one. I'm by myself. I don't have anyone to feed off of. I don't have anyone to be there to help me. I've just kind of been abandoned for the last 45 minutes on my own. I honestly would say, if possible, please try to get out of it, because I don't feel right now that I can do this on my own. But if it's completely impossible for her to get out of it, and it's kind of like there's a medical emergency and I need to go, if that's the situation, I think I don't want to say that I would try my best and just kind of push through it, because I don't think that's fair to the hearing or deaf clients at that point. I'm not doing the service. I'm not getting all of the information across. I'm just, um, I'm just going as best as I can on what I have, and I don't think that's fair to anyone. So, um, if honestly possible, I would like her to stay, and I would try to talk to her and get her to stay. But if all humanly possible, that cannot happen by any way, means, or forms, I think I would try to do it on my own, but I would not be comfortable and I would not be happy about the whole situation. Alrighty, next slide. So, 6 weeks of the class, you've gained some confidence and comfort. Teaming has continued to be great in the psychology class, and it has continued to go okay with Lisa in the sociology class. The only thing that is left uncomfortable now is that Lisa has left 40 minutes early twice. Would not be happy. Again this week, Lisa says that she needs to leave early. She lets you know that she has another interpreting job and that she must leave early from the university in order to arrive at her other job on time. Okay. Definitely not a happy camper at this point. What are you thinking? How will you reply to Lisa? What actions can you take and why? Okay. So my first reaction inside is very unhappy. I don't think that's fair to me. I don't think that's fair to this job. I don't think that's fair to the deaf client. I don't think that's fair to the hearing client. I don't think that's fair to the university who hired you. Double booking yourself. I mean, we learn this in Intro to Interpreting. You don't double book yourself. And if you book two jobs really close to each other, you let the first job know that you're going to have to leave early. Like, at this job goes till noon, but at noon I need to leave because I need to get to Portland by 1:30, and that lunchtime traffic is really heavy, and I don't want to leave my drive to chance. So if there's traffic, I can't make it to my next job on time. The fact that she's leaving 40 minutes early, it's not 5 minutes early, like you have to do the last section by yourself a little bit. It's like a full 40-minute chunk, which I don't think interpreters can put out their best work after interpreting for 40 minutes. I would first talk to Lisa and be like, this isn't fair. I'm left for the last 40 minutes of class by myself, even though I thought this was a team interpreting job. You've double booked yourself for work. You should have talked to one or the other at this point within, what is this, the 6th week of class I think I just read? You should have talked to somebody at this point and been like, okay, well, I'm having a difficult time getting between one and the other. So, talking to them and maybe switching in for the last hour, another interpreter, or having a different interpreter for one of those jobs. I understand how important it is to make money, especially in this economy, but you can't do a job halfway and expect to get the full payment out of it. At this point, I would be really upset that I had been left high and dry. This is the 3rd time now. I don't know if in this scenario that I am actually a new interpreter, but as a new interpreter, I would not be okay with this at all. At that point, I would talk to the university and be like, okay, she's left 40 minutes early 3 different times. She's telling me she has another job, and I can't keep doing 40 minutes by myself alone. I either need help, we need to talk to her and sit down with her, which I will happily do, or we just need to figure something out so I'm not alone the last 40 minutes of class. I don't like being a tattletale, but I need to make sure I'm taking care of myself, and interpreting 40 minutes at the end of a bunch of different classes so she can get to her next job, I don't know if I could do that, especially if talking to her hadn't worked. I think my first reaction would be to talk to her, and then if she didn't listen and we couldn't have that communication, I would go to someone higher up and talk to them and have them mediate our conversations at that point, if I felt I wasn't being heard. Alrighty, next one. Alrighty, that's all done. Alrighty. That's it. Thank you.